secure do you feel right now in your role?
I've got a lot of confidence in myself, our staff, and our players.
Any of the colleges that have openings reached out to you?
I'm not talking about that. I'm the Carolina Panthers head coach, and that's it.
Matt Rhule peppered with job security questions on Monday morning and questions about looking for a return to college football. That is what happens when you start 1-3 and are 11-26 over the duration. WFNZ's Kyle Bailey and, his guy Bo joining us on Monday night. KB, first of all, you guys on the radio are kind of like the front lines for fan frustration, kind of a therapist. I'm sure you took a lot of calls Monday. What has been the common thread?
Frustration, and Bo has takes. That's why he's here, Nick. I know you're pro. I know you're pro dog around here.
Absolutely.
The hottest takes. He'll bark them out when he's ready. But I mean, the common thread today on the phone lines, and boy, we took a lot of phone calls. I talked to a lot of disgruntled Panthers fans today, and they're just tired. They're tired of watching losing football. They're tired of watching offensive ineptitude. And while there were some who would rather go blame the coaching route, fire Matt Rhule, which is no uncommon refrain around here, there was a lot of anger, directed at the quarterback, Baker Mayfield, and I think we all understand why. Even Baker himself has said he's not playing good football right now. So I think the overall, frustration level was high. Some have just resigned themselves to farmers markets and rounds of golf on Sunday at this point. We'll see if that sticks, but the mood is not good.
All right, is David Tepper at this point, KB, just delaying the inevitable when it comes to the future of Matt Rhule? And, why do you think that is? Why do you think he's strung it out this long despite a slow start to this season and the first two seasons of Matt Rhule's tenure?
So I think we all have probably picked up on, or should have by now, that David Tepper's not a guy who's going to be told what to do by anybody. He will let go of Matt Rhule on his timeline when he's ready and for reasons that he thinks are, valid and timely. And so whether or not that comes this week, I doubt it. In fact, I go back and forth. We had a conversation about this on the show today. Matt Rhule's not a play caller. You wouldn't be shaking up offensive play calling by firing him. That's Ben McAdoo's job. And so he doesn't call the defense either. I'm not sure how much there is to gain by firing Matt Rhule at this point in the season, unless you're just tired of seeing him out there, in which case that's David Tepper's prerogative. But, I think they were always going to let this new staff together go for at least probably half the season to figure out what they have. But then again, stranger things have happened. So I wouldn't be surprised if they let Matt Rhule see it through a few more weeks to see if they can turn this thing around. And if not, maybe hand the roles over to an interim.
Kyle, believe it or not, Baker Mayfield's completion percentage went up after Sunday's game. It was at about 52, a little bit under it. Now it's at about 54. None of those numbers are good. None of his numbers are good through 4 weeks. And if Sam Darnold had been cleared to practice this week, which he has not been, that would be the conversation everything centers around. I mean, is Baker Mayfield so bad right now that you want to think about Sam Darnold starting again?
I think in an alternate universe where Sam Darnold doesn't have a high ankle sprain, we've already seen him on the field at this point. I mean, that's how badly this coaching staff needs to win games. If this lingers, yeah, you're going to see Sam Darnold back out there. There's not a doubt in my mind. And then, this situation, this scenario, which we talked about in the preseason, is also interesting on a different timeline where you at least have a healthy rookie in Matt Corral to throw him out there and see what he's got at some point. But unfortunately for him, Liz Frank injury, IR, he's done for the year. And so right now it's Baker and it's PJ Walker. And I get the sense that a lot of people, even, those who like PJ, feel like they know what he is. And so at least for the foreseeable future, it's going to be Baker Mayfield's chance to get it right and fix this offense.
Credit to Matt Rhule, because I don't think a lot of coaches could do this in an 11-26 start. And we've talked about this. The locker room seems to still have his back in comments through the first 3 weeks. Do you feel any simmering, though, frustration when you hear from Christian McCaffrey and the things that he does and doesn't say? DJ Moore last week. Do you sense that, this is a dam that could break soon if things don't change?
Yeah, I mean, I think these guys are going to be pros. I would expect that anyway. These guys have seen some they've seen some adversity over the past 2 years. They've handled themselves well. So I expect that to continue. But yeah, you could see the frustration in DJ Moore's face last week when he kind of snickered at the notion that this was about a quarterback and a wide receiving core that just wasn't on the same page. That's not it, at least not in the mind of DJ Moore, nor myself. I mean, this has been largely about bad quarterback play. Baker has, to his credit, owned up to bad quarterback play, but talking about it, owning up to it only takes you so far. They've got to fix it. And so, yeah, if this continues, Brian Burns can say the right things. Frankie Louvu can say the right things, and they may yet do that for, 14, 13 more games. But inside that locker room, there will be a pivot if this continues over the next couple of weeks.
All right, big picture, looking ahead a little bit, Kyle, say this doesn't work, which a lot of people don't think it will, between Matt Rhule being here and Baker Mayfield being here and not being here next year. How does the franchise then go about turning things around when they have a solid defense and some key pieces on both sides of the ball, but really just void of a future at this point at the quarterback position?
It's not just the quarterback position. Now, the cap situation does not look good for next year. Some of that can be massaged and maneuvered, but by and large, they have a really tough cap situation going into next season. That's not great. They only currently have 4 draft picks for the 2023 draft because they've mortgaged some of those away for Matt Corral and others. And so, whoever comes in here next, assuming that Matt Rhule does see his fate and his time here end with the Carolina Panthers, they are going to have some work to do. You've got some key pieces you think that are under contract, but you may also be willing to trade some of those pieces away if this is going to be a hard reset at the end of another unsuccessful season for Matt Rhule. So the future, I won't say that it's bleak because the right people in the right places can always turn things around, but it is not going to be an easy road to hoe for the Carolina Panthers if they in fact start over here pretty soon.
All right, KB, looking ahead but not too far ahead, forget the next 13 games and actually stringing together victories. Can they win this one? Can they beat the San Francisco 49ers at home and buy Matt Rhule just a little bit more time?
It's the NFL. Anything can happen. Can they beat the 49ers? Yeah, they can. Will they? I don't expect them to. Sunday will tell us a lot, about how much this defense really believes that it's just a matter of time before the offense gets it right. Because, Jimmy G and this 49er offense, they're no pushovers, but they've also looked rough at times this year already. And so the Carolina Panthers defense is up to that challenge. But boy, that 49ers defense, they're coming in and they're in a position to make the Panthers offense have a long Sunday evening. So, yeah, they can beat them. I just wouldn't put any money on it right now.
He's Kyle Bailey. Step into his clubhouse every weekday, 2 to 6 on WFNZ. KB, give Bo, the very good boy, a biscuit for us, okay?
You got it, buddy.